Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll have a moment of silence to begin with. Thank you. We'll now call the meeting to order and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
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 Interim City Manager and Finance Manager Joe Solberg.
Here.
City Attorney Brian Bailey.
Here.
Chief Mike Posey.
Here.
Chief Jimmy Settle.
Here.
Building Code Zoning Enforcement Officer Marty Lewis.
Here.
Street Commissioner Mike Sarah.
Here.
Sanitary Director Dee Evans.
Okay.
And City Engineer. Sam Merrick.
Okay, under visitors section, we do have one person registered to speak, and that is Tammy Levitt. And I'll remind you, first of all, it's really nice to have you here. And in this portion of the meeting, we give attendees 5 minutes to state their case so that we can address your concerns.
We have a problem with a girl up the street. She's dragging cats in from a restaurant. And these cats, there's two of them up there that's hurt, but nobody can put their hands on them. These cats are in season. These cats are going to turn into, it's going to turn into a cat colony if somebody doesn't stop her. And my husband doesn't like scooping cat stuff off our porch every day, which they are outside, so they don't have no choice. I don't know if they're being fed, evidently because they're getting in everybody's garbage, so they're not. But like I said, there is two of them up there that is hurt, and nobody's sending to them.
Where is this?
The address is at 117 McGarry. We seen her last Friday. She brought 3 in and let them out of her vehicle and let them go.
Okay.
I'm not the only one I guess I'm the only one that's got any nerve to come forward to this, but the rest of them are chicken because they won't come. But there is numerous neighbors noticing that there's at least 15 cats now. I have cats. Mine are fixed. Mine stay in the house because that's where they should be. Not out bothering everybody. My dog goes out back. And that's what I'm afraid of is he's going to get a hold of one of them. He's going to kill them cats. And I don't want that because it's not their fault. So that's where I stand at this point.
Thank you, Tammy.
Here, take that
Marty,
back.
do you feel comfortable addressing some of that on behalf of the cat person?
Yeah, I actually spent 2 evenings last month trying to catch people, see if they were loading cats in vehicles out there at Arby's and at Holden's. I didn't see anybody loading cats in their cars or whatever. I sat out there looking, and there and over at Holden's.
Well, she told
But-
everybody in the neighborhood that's where she came from.
I tried to catch somebody doing that.
Well,
I
her name is
tried to
Mary
call-
Alcott,
Okay.
if that helps you.
And then-
Oh,
And then, during this last month, there weren't any trackings going on for 2 reasons. One, when it's so cold out, it's not legal for her to trap because she could also catch wildlife, and the DNR said they don't want animals freezing in the traps.
I don't understand that,
Yep.
but she bring me cats up here in her.
Yeah, and we don't want her bringing cats up there and dropping them off. We don't want them dropping.
She taking them out of her vehicle and the cat room.
Now, I'll spend a couple more evenings trying to get it. I'll also get in touch with her and I'll let her know that that's not permissible.
Right, because we think that, she took strike cat dog. We've been here once before, when there was the house beside us that they were breeding inside of.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I know these females are in season because they make the noise. And they're
Mhm.
doing that now, and I know these cats are not there. that's gonna be another 4 to 12 kids.
Yeah, I will get in touch with her. I'll put something in writing to her actually.
I mean, we would appreciate it if we just get some help, but we don't need another cat problem.
I agree with you.
People get these pets, they need to take care of them. I'm sure, you know, I have 3 cats and a dog, and mine are well taken care of. They're in where it's warm. I'm not throwing them outside. She just bring them up there and let them go.
Martin, is there a specific date and time when she can start trapping again?
Well, the cold of this last month is what stopped that.
Yeah.
Plus, she couldn't get any of her appointments at the place there in Morgantown where she was getting them neutered.
Okay, but they can go to Jill Brooklyn too, because Jill Brooklyn does do that. She does that because that's how I got my cats fixed.
I think Jill has a waiting list right now. I think so. Yeah.
Mariah was getting a bunch of them done for free up in Morgan.
Well, like I said, there is 2 up here that's hurt. They're limping so bad, and every time they go to walk, you can hear them crying. Oh, God. So I don't know what's wrong with them because you can't catch them. If I could catch them, they'd go into a vet, but I can't put my hands on them. They're feral.
Well, Mariah can trap him.
Since it's gonna be a little bit warmer this week and it's not sub-zero like we had, let me see if maybe we can do something about that. And if they're hurt, they're probably gonna be euthanized, but that's.
Well, I mean, I'm sad to know that, but I'm just saying it would be better off that they're not running around hurt like that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And that's the only reason why I came here, because I think that the problem just needs to get under control, and I know it's a problem everywhere. That people are dropping them off. But people need to hold consequences when they do that.
Well, thank you very much, Tammy, for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next you have minutes of the regular session in your packet from January 9th. If there are no additions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve as distributed.
I move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have reports of city boards, commissions, and outside agencies. Cemetery board meeting. That's actually tomorrow at 4 o'clock at the city building. The Historic Landmarks Commission, the 13th at 6. The Planning Commission, Wednesday at 4:30. The Lewis County EDA meeting, February 26th at 5 p.m. here. Board of Zoning Appeals, Tuesday, February 11th at 6 p.m. The Tree Commission, Thursday, February 26th at 3 p.m. At the municipal building. And we have under that consideration of Robert Darling and Robert Kuhn for the Weston Tree Commission.
I'll move to approve.
Both applications?
Yes.
It's been moved and second to approve the application to the Tree Commission from Robert Darling and Robert Kuhn. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Arts Council, Tuesday, February 11th at 5:30. Land Reuse Agency, the 24th at 6 p.m. Neighborhood Watch, Betty Brooks has posted her meeting schedule for the year. First meeting, March 5th at 6 p.m. at the fire department. And Lewis Gilmer Solid Waste Authority, Wednesday, February 12th. Known vacancies to be filled, Board of Zoning Appeals, 1 position and 1 alternate. And next, Sanitary Board report.
Good evening.
I handed you all a report right before the meeting. You should have it there in front of you. If you have any questions about that, I'll be happy to answer those for you. Just to hit a couple of the highlights. Our phase 2 project, I spoke with the engineer today. He says that after receiving some comments back from us on the plans that he gave us, that he's ready to submit those to DEP. Everything else there on the reports for your all's review. If you do have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. Billing for this past month was 155,057.76. Our collections was 165,528.08. We did submit around 74 water terminations to the water company this past month. Just due to the weather, they didn't get those done in the timeline. Public Service Commission allows for that, so those were resubmitted with a few payments that were made, and those are back out there for termination this week.
Okay.
Our meeting is next Monday at 4:30. You guys are always invited. If there's anything else, I'll be happy to answer that for you.
There was nothing that stood out in the comments that we supplied to the engineer on the plans.
Nate, are you gonna address that? I don't really think there was, I didn't know since you were the engineer, if you were gonna. I don't really think, other than there was some places we thought there should be a sidewalk and we asked for that. There was the thought that there should have been a bin down there for a dumpster down there for us, and we had that addressed. There were some valve differences that we thought there should be, but I think everything we offered, Bob was happy to either supply a reason why it couldn't be, or he was happy to make that change for us. I didn't
Okay.
see anything that he said no to.
Yeah, the biggest question, I don't know if the answer is whether or not, was how are we gonna handle the sludge getting from the dried sludge to the landfill? Because I think we talked about maybe a roll-off dumpster that, I would say, like, some of the haul off time to time, or we stockpile and throw it in our dump truck and run it up to the landfill, or that method. Speak to that on the call today.
No, he did not.
That's
He did
the
not.
biggest question for me.
He did say that he would speak with us at the meeting on Monday night about that, what our
Okay.
actual thoughts were on it.
I guess the other thing is I think we're a little bit behind on the timeline.
Definitely.
But we'll do both of the entity that puts pressure on them to speed this process up.
I did mention that to him today on the phone.
Okay. Questions for Dee? None? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next finance.
Finance report for you this month. First, I'll just give you some general updates. Sales tax for the quarter came in. We received about 148,000. Our goal each quarter for sales tax is 153,000. So it was a little bit underwhelming. We're still on track for the year because the first 2 quarters came in far enough ahead of that goal that we're still about $30,000 ahead on track. We just hope that the next quarter isn't also under the final quarter. The financial parts of your packet printed a little bit funny, so I included another copy of the P&L separate, just so you can review that. And then also I've included copies of salt invoices that we've paid so far, just to give you the rest of what's going on there. All of those invoices were for less than $5,000, so we went ahead and paid them. Having a problem with that, but they do total at this point close to 14,000.
I was wondering.
I think that, and we haven't received all the invoices we're expecting to receive yet, so that's probably going to double the work over. I just wanted, so there's nothing that I need, no action I need you to take. I just wanted you to see this and see where it's happening. And also I talked to the state auditor's office about the salt situation. Because normally we don't spend enough on salt for it to meet our threshold. If I'd had a crystal ball, I'd have known that we would.
Exactly.
Threshold this year. State auditor's office said 2 things. They said, one, just well document the necessity of it, and the unusualness of the winter compared to other winters, and then also going forward, fly on the state's stated contract, fly on the coattails of state-based contract. And they like I said, there's not a problem with the key salt streets. So, just keeping it there. I don't have anything else in general updates, in terms of the finance report. On page 14, if you can read it, is the, major structures update. We received $300 in payments on major structures funds this month. So I would ask you to transfer $300.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bless you.
Check detail report starts on page 15.
I'll move to approve the pizza.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have for finance report. I have a lot more to cover in the interim city manager's report. But before we move on, do you have the finance question?
I have a question on the salt report. So calling from JF Allen is the hourly, a rate of $117. Calling from, what was it? Calling salt from Schreiber is $130. Why is there a difference in that?
The difference in between that, he stored quite a bit of salt when I took it out, he stored bin, and we were totally out.
Now, I'm just wondering, is a longer prep from his his salt from JF Allen?
I think, I don't think that's the problem, Debbie, is, I think the problem is he's renting containers to put in. the
Okay,
salt.
I just wondered why there was a,
Yeah, there.
I mean, it's $23.
Yeah, he
$23.
stored salt, and when I was out, I went down.
No, that's fine. I just wondered what the rate difference was. Why was some of
His rate, I think his rate right now is 117.
Yeah, it's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Why was some of the rate 117 and some of the rate 130? That's what I was asking. Why it's two different rates?
Yeah, I think he's been adjusting the rate based on what his expense in.
Okay, I just wondered.
On demand, Debbie.
I get it, I get
Yeah.
it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't think so. Thanks, Joe. Street Department report.
I reported, got any questions on that, I'll answer those, I'll just let you know that we have worked numerous hours, and you guys see that out there. The guys are starting to get a little bit of rest and feel a little bit better now, they're starting to get sick, so we did shut down 4th Street from Main to Water, and today we repaired it from Main to North River with some cold patch. And I've got cold patch coming, two to three more skids coming. Tomorrow morning, we'll go out and take care of some of the potholes that we see. I know there's quite a few, but again, letting you know, cold patch is the way we're putting it in. We're heating up the ground and drying everything out, and then putting the cold patch in and rolling it in. I'm not gonna guarantee you that that's gonna last longer.
Appreciate you taking my advice on that first.
You, Debbie, I appreciate that too, but we still got hampered.
Hey, it's better people losing
Losing a tire.
a tire.
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything wrong with it, Mike.
Listen, I want you to know that my car went across it and I did call the councilman for Ward 4 and complain about it.
Did you? Good for you.
All I said was nothing to see here.
I'd also in this report here, I did speak to Joe today, and that's what I've been doing, is going out and look at some of these streets, and I'm gonna tell you what, and I showed some pictures with Joe today. We got some streets that really, really super terrible. We're coming to where we're just down nothing but mud, so just let you all know,
Plain Street.
Joe, I think Joe's probably been keeping you all aware of that, but come spring, hang on. You think salt was high? Just let you know.
Okay, questions for Mike? All right, thank you. Police Department.
Thank you.
That report
ran into a little flame for some reason. But after sitting in class for 8 hours for 5 days, my brain was a little.
Yep. Yep.
There was a couple of dog at large citations and a couple of others. Other than that, it was. The cold kind of helped us a little bit.
That's right.
Questions for Chief Posey?
Other than accidents. Yeah.
Nothing? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Fire Department.
Side report is a busy month for us too.
You guys, yep. Wow.
Two structure fires, one in Texas Mill area and one at Oak Lick. Otherwise,
Hmm.
And
Okay,
numerous accidents, vehicle accidents.
questions for Chief Settle?
How was your training?
it was okay. It was long, like Mike said, it was a long 40 hours there. You know, CSE training.
Was it beneficial for you?
I think so.
Good.
I use it today.
You
Teach
did.
you kind of a different approach what we're used to.
That's good. That's good. Thank you guys for attending.
Mike, that's all this does.
We all did, I think. It's a little rough, though.
It was a little rough.
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you. Next, Building Code Zoning, Vulture and Cat.
I sent out an email to everybody, last week, one day, they caught 17 vultures in the
Right.
trap over there and disposed of them.
Right.
The next day, he got 3 and they got wise. So they haven't been back for a few days, so, they threw some more deer and they got a bunch of trout off the DNR that had died at the hatchery over at Bowden, and we threw those in there as well.
Nice.
So, and he opened the top of the trap up a little bit more, trying to entice them in there, so. Hopefully after a few days, they'll get hunted again and venture back in. They kind of got wise when they saw their brethren get knocked off.
Can we move the trap?
Well, he was getting ready to try and relocate the trap, and then we caught 17 in one day, so it's.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So hopefully, if you ever disturb them a little bit, they get wise. Something's on their mowing bids come out, in Wednesday's paper. And we've got demolition bids out right now.
Mhm.
We're gonna be busy come next month when it starts all these demolitions. We've got 10 of them out right now.
We'll have a special session for that to approve those.
It's on the agenda for council to take that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's what we're hoping.
Sweet.
I'm anxious to, I think these were all good choices for the demolitions. I know you have your scale that you rate them on.
You have anything else, Marty?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Questions for Marty?
Main Street Power Project is moving along. We've got permission from all the property owners that have to relocate. We have the contract signed with Mon Power and the check sent to them for their engineering. All the electrical equipment is on order and it's, you guys awarded that contract, you know. So we're moving ahead with it. It's not gonna be an overnight project. Mon Power is one that's probably gonna do it.
Okay.
Was going to ask you, is there any more discussion?
I mean, yeah, it's it. I just wanted to add, as far as with with the bid over there, Marty. Was contacted by Gene King, of course, he bid on the job, King's Electric. I reached out to a couple of council members, Mike, and, he just brought up a couple concerns as far as, he said it was all right not getting a bid, you don't win them all, you know. But as far as working with the city, we use their equipment all the time, bucket trucks. They save us thousands of dollars, as Mike and I was talking. We actually gotta use this truck for the, Santa Claus and stuff to take down as well. Which he's never asked for anything in return as far as to use the equipment or, you know, special attention or bidding on any jobs, whatever, because he's lost bids before and all that, but he just said it'd be nice if, you know, there's some type of conversation or I don't know, he said, I guess he talked with you and things changed 2 or 3 times as far as things being added.
Well, we found another address that had a service come in at parallel to 2. And an addendum was formed for that, and an addendum was sent out to all the, you know, everybody that was wanting to bid or whatever.
Yeah.
All the information that was provided to him was provided to everybody else equally.
I got you, yeah.
So-
And I don't mean anything like you did anything wrong. I speak light on this because there's a bid process and by law, you know, doing all this, but
But we have to follow the state
Yeah.
procurement procedures and all that, and, you know, I can't provide any fair advantage to anybody or whatever. I'm
Right.
fair advantage to anybody. I try to keep everything as, you know, if one person's got the information, everybody's benefit from the information.
yeah, and like I said, I think we did everything right. I just wanted to bring it up in the conversation we had. And just that we may keep it in mind next time as far as,
Well,
just looking at different angles. I don't know.
in order to settle any possible hurt feelings or misunderstandings, would it be prudent for Marty to have a polite conversation with him to go over our process and let him?
He said it wasn't necessary, and Marty, he said he talked with him and there's nothing wrong. I guess just the thought of, you know, partnering with him and using stuff and all that, but, it's one of those things, I guess. That, you know, people's, his business is within the city limits and everything else and partnering with us. But like I said, I try to talk lightly about it because there's a process to go by and whether people's helping us or not, you can't do, you know, special treatment or anything, but just want to bring up the conversation, so.
Great, thank you, Marty. Next, city attorney report.
I think I'm up here in February. Well, I don't necessarily think there is a timeline per se, like. When people want an alley closure, we're in shape.
Mhm.
And, you know, that takes a 2 ordinance type deal. And so.
Hmm.
We'll have February. March. That's gonna be coming down the pipe. Otherwise, I think most of my stuff is very. 10%.
Okay,
Can I ask you a question? The property on the corner there of West Second Street and Water Street. Where the tree is and all of that, and the fence and where are we on that? Do you know?
That's a. Stages.
Okay,
Question.
okay, okay. Okay. No, it's okay. I'll send you an email from the land reuse. Yeah. Okay. I'll send you an email from the LRA.
okay. City clerk's report. Have the January report in your packet. And now interim city manager's report.
A few things, I guess, a update you on. I'm trying to keep the rest of everything via email. A few things that I wanted to speak to though. Tell you a little bit about snow removal and sidewalks. I think there was a lot this month there. It's not something I think the city of Weston has had to do a lot of in the past because snow usually melts in the first couple of days after it falls.
Right.
And we ran into a couple of issues. We really didn't have the manpower or the equipment. To get it done, because our manpower was dedicated to keeping the streets clean. We didn't have any equipment. And at first I said, darn, if we pulled that trigger on the vent track, we'd have had the equipment. The bike said, yeah, even if we had the vent track, I still didn't have the guys to spare to run it. And so eventually we did run out, had to go to Salem to get a snow blower. And set the AmeriCorps members up in the sidewalks, and then learn an important lesson about communicating expectations to AmeriCorps members. So we got there eventually. But I think that was a challenge this week or this month that we weren't able to get. But we made it through. I chose this email, but I'll reiterate it and might leave it to you too. This winter's impact on the budget is not going to be confined to salt. We're going to see it hit the spring too. The Weston Sanitary Board merger, I'd say we made a lot of good progress this month. Moving things around in the city building. I think we'll be ready to get the sanitary board over here probably by the end of February. I think we're on track for that. Now, will I have a place for council to meet when the special session time comes around? We'll see. I've got the municipal building torn apart right now, and I think we'll have to put that together before that. A few other things that are floating around out there. We do have one large federally funded program, which is the AmeriCorps program. There was some uncertainty this month about how funding was going to work for that, because what happens is we submit invoices to the state submits invoices to the federal government, and then it comes back and goes through. First, there was communication saying that there was a pause on funding, and then there was communication saying it wasn't a pause on funding, and then there's communication saying there's not a pause on funding, but anticipate delays. So we're anticipating delays, but I don't think that it's enough to lose too much sleep over it. I think we don't see any. There's no reason to think that we won't continue to receive funding, and it's not so much funding that if it were delayed a few months, it would hurt us. Other than that, city engineer's been very helpful this month, working on project delivery for the riverfront and Coastal Center. I don't think I have too much more to add other than that. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Do not.
No, I like the weekly reports. Thank you.
I have a question. Streetlights, I know it hasn't been very low priority of your list, but I do know that there's one that is out that probably needs some attention, and that's the one by the middle school and Fourth. And the reason being that the kids cross that road at nighttime, like when they're coming out of Little League and things. So if you could possibly get a hold of the power company and get that replaced.
So it's just the street light is just out, and that's your only concern?
Yeah, it's like one of many of them do like a flicker and then they go off for a long time, and then maybe the next night it'll be back on. But that one, I think there's a safety issue with being at the school and events happening at the school. And it gets dark
Yeah, that makes sense.
crossing the street.
We'll report back tomorrow.
Would the city engineer have any comments that he'd like to make? Do you have anything, Nate?
I'll say about the street light, Trent Butcher's been on that one for months now, and we've both made complaints to Mom Power about it, so.
I mean,
Pass that along.
I would present it as a safety issue, and with a school being there,
Yeah.
and that children are crossing that street at night. One of the new ones, not one of those old things that go out the next day.
We received a shape file for the poles, and so we're gonna make some maps for the pole location, and then our field guys, fire department, and Marty, whoever, will, be able to go out and mark where we've actually got actual streetlights. Because nobody between the two of us have any kind of mapping on where streetlights are. And then we will make the suggestions then about which ones we want to have brighter wattages on and things of that nature. So that project is still in process. But I did get that data last month from them to
I think-
start that.
Any of them that are at an intersection probably.
We want to be, that's what we're
Needs to be
thinking.
bright, especially on the downtown area.
I just didn't know if you guys, there's a cost associated for those brighter ones, which is more than what we budgeted currently. So before we pulled the trigger on, I wanted to bring those numbers to you all so you can see what you're in for before we give you the yay or the nay or whatever.
I think it's okay to do more.
Yeah, no problem.
I would agree with Debbie about the intersections. The verdict's still out. There's one on Kitson, and although they like the safety feature of it, it's really bright in a residential area. So they're gonna live with it for a little bit and let us know. You might want to just watch putting them in residential areas.
I saw.
Right.
Since back
I
in
agree.
the-
Yep. I agree. Yeah. Main thoroughfares and yeah.
It's telling me the different wattages of those LEDs. And the one at the intersection of Third and Fourth by CBS. That's not the brightest, but it's like the second down from the brightest. And major intersections, that's probably what we need there.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he wanted us to, once we map out these, I contacted Nate, they sent me the email too. But once we can map these out, then we can come up with some kind of a general rule that says, okay, a residential street, we're gonna do a 50 watt. If it's a mid intersection, a mid-major intersection, maybe we'll do 90. And then if we get to those more major intersections, we do 130 watt. And we can come up with some kind of rule then as it gets reported. Their guys in the field know, okay, this light needs replaced. This gets they're looking for chart, this gets a 50, it's a residential.
I will say the good thing about these LED, they don't burn out. I mean, I have not seen one that has gone
Yeah,
out in years.
They're supposed to last like 100,000 hours.
Yeah.
They can go bad, drivers can go bad in them, or diodes can go out in them, but yeah, they're pretty good on it. And they don't go dimmer when it's.
Yeah.
I guess on my end, Riverfront Park, we're just going back with our comments back and forth at this point from the public meeting, kind of get things ironed out. We're gonna meet with Region 7 this Friday to talk about the environmental review that's required. Now, I think the big question is federal dollars, right? We received earmarks for all these things, and we're not quite sure how that's all gonna settle out at this point. We'll probably be lucky to be able to get anybody from HUD to even show up to the meeting. But I've got to reach out to them tomorrow to get a hold of them, but so there's some question about what's even available to do at this point. Hubcast, I don't know if you've mentioned that to them yet. We talked about that in the email about the funding that they're having some questions with their funding. And I think that we're going to cover it up front and they'll address those over the long term for this technical study. So that's the status of Riverfront Cultural Center. My intention is to put in the grant with the state on March 31st. And so I've just got to get the ball rolling on that and get some documentation put together. That's on my list. I met with Ray Smith at EDA today to talk about grants for trails and trying to incorporate Riverfront and things into some of the longer term trail planning. I looked at the Ray's grant and said that was a really good opportunity. I just don't think we had anything developed farther enough with a benefit cost analysis. That's what got me. Everything else is that I can pull this off, but I couldn't do the benefit cost analysis. So I didn't.
Next year.
Yeah, next year, if it's available at this point. So those are the main things. I've got the hydraulic study on 6th Street that we've been talking about down there with the state 6th Street pond, West 6th Street. We'll try to get that taken care of this month as well. Get that over to Department of Highways to get approval to get across with their road crossing. That's what's been on my radar.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve all department reports.
I submit.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to old business, consideration of Ventrac tractor 4500 series rough cut mower.
I'm gonna recommend that you table this one indefinitely. Last month we had to table it, so we wait a month and see where we are financially and that sort of stuff. And think through, talk to my knowledge, chime in, tell me what to characterize it right, but in one, we've got a lot of financial unknowns on the right as we go into the spring. But two, as we're looking at our workload in spring and summer with all the fencing that just came in, potholes when we fix it and that sort of stuff. I think we kind of say, well, even if we had the track, I would probably be sitting in the shed right now. So do you think that's the right characterization, Mike? Yes, I do.
Mike's, he wasted that money, didn't he, Joe, on salt?
He wasted all the salt, that's right.
So I just think it's a good idea, and I would probably do that. It's a good idea that we get it, but then on the other hand, it's rough winter we're having and everything. And I'm not saying we're in financial bonds, but anyway, we're gonna have to start looking for some money. And for the rest of the salt and then basically we were talking about the blacktop and stuff. I think it's a good idea. We just hold up for a while.
I'll go ahead and move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved in second to table indefinitely. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Consideration for ordinance 2025-01, Assistant City Manager position.
Probably should have been tabled indefinitely. But when we went back and listened to the audio, it was on the table. So if it was your intention to have further discussion, then we have that now. If it was your intention to table indefinitely, then you should do that.
I moved the table indefinitely.
Was there a second? Okay. It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration for handbook policy update conflict of interest.
You've got the red letter text on there. With recommended, I would call them clarifications to the conflict of interest policy. I don't think that it's a substantial change. I mean, it clarifies where conflicts of interest could exist, and clarifies who the conflicts have. Right. Refer you to Brian, if you have any other questions on.
Did we check with Susan Deniker? They're our employee person.
I have not spoken.
I don't think it's working. Do you need mine?
Your battery.
Way to go, Bailey. Use this.
Like the budgets.
There we go. I mean, from my standpoint, I have not talked to Susan Deniker about this.
The Susan Deniker is just a price thing. It's expensive to talk to her, and I think it was a simple clarification. So I think the wisdom from the city manager and the city attorney at that time was try to do it in house.
Did you not have a conversation with another attorney though about this change?
A general conversation, not necessarily about a specific change, but about the concept of a conflict of interest of this nature as to what, I mean, is that even something that's even feasible or doable or something that's even worthwhile of changing something? And I wasn't getting any official opinion on changing the handbook. No, nothing like that ever came about. And I forget the gentleman's name. He was out of Elkins. Sure. Sure. Honestly, gosh, I've never looked at it. I mean, I've been. I
think that's very, very broad. As far as ordinary, that tells us not involved as far as.
And we can engage Susan Deniker if necessary. to look at this.
Thoughts from council?
Speak to it since I wrote it. I think what the intention was to convey, like, we don't want anything extraordinary, not to play on ordinary again. You're not trying to create a, if you can, within your regular chain of command, be able to reorganize and cover your conflict of interest, it's not necessarily a big deal. You know, like, there's things happen every day. We don't have to kind of want to create a special condition that kind of hamstrings you in order not to do it. That's, I think, what we're trying to speak to there is.
I just, when it comes to discipline or actually terminating an employee, you want to have a specific structure and where it's even across the board for, because it may be ordinary for this employee, and in the next round, you may have just a little bit of a different situation than the ordinary becomes out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and I think what we're trying to speak to again is to bring clarity for the employees and employee handbook is that if you have a condition where two employees get hired and there's a conflict of interest there that cannot be avoided, you know, then really the remedy is termination.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do because you can't have an ongoing conflict of interest all the time. You know, everybody needs to be very clear about that, which puts the onus on the employee before those situations arise.
Yeah.
They need to report potential conflict of interest. And that's what I think. That's the goal of this policy is to make sure employees understand that conflicts of interest are very serious.
Oh, yeah, and
they can't be allowed to continue.
I said about it, it's really good. I just think it's very broad here.
So would council like further review, or are you ready to proceed?
Would you feel better if Susan Jeniker took a look at it?
So I think over a few words.
I mean,
the rest up above it's pretty good, as far as, keeping conflict out. Making good sound decisions without having a conflict where you're doing things outside of. So everything else is good, but yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to table this matter until a review is obtained from Steptoe and Johnson.
So moved.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, new business, consideration of confirming date for special session. And did you say you were looking at the 19th?
Yeah, I'd like y'all to set a date for a special session of the 19th at a time that you're choosing, if you would. I think on the 14th is when we will open bids for demolition, and on the
19th.
around lunchtime, we'll open bids. I'm sorry, 19th and 4 o'clock we'll open bids for contracted mowing. So sometime that evening, we'd like to have a special session.
Brian needed something too, didn't you, on that agenda?
Yeah, but we can put it on the agenda whenever we
Sure.
send it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, we just need to get a
Notify
date
it.
set.
It doesn't need notice.
Okay.
Okay, so the 19th then you're looking at. At what time, Joe?
Time works for you.
What works for you, Herb? Bless you.
Yeah.
Up to
How
you.
about you, Debbie?
It doesn't matter.
Stephen?
4:30.
That way you guys, yes, I'm good with that. That way you guys don't
Yeah.
have to stay so late, you know, between.
Oh, they all work for me. Okay, consideration of Kimley Horn contract changes.
Okay. Contracts in your packet, there really are no contract changes. What's going on there is that's the contract you all approved back in October for Kimley Horn.
What's up
Design
here?
Services for the river.
Yeah.
project.
I've got it.
And
Oh, here.
originally, so that's a $22,300 project. Hubcap was gonna pay directly to
This
the
was
vendor,
the packet.
20,500, and we were gonna pay directly to the vendor, 1,800. Hubcap and they're, working with their funder, which is USDA, has determined that it's probably more efficient if the city of Weston pays the whole contract up front, and then gets reimbursed by Hubcap. So that doesn't change any of the numbers, but it means that we would be cutting a $22,000 check instead of an $1,800 check. So I felt that was significant enough to
Mm-hmm.
warrant council's stamp of approval on that.
What was the reason for that, Joe?
They basically said that they've been working with their, so they're funded through the USDA and they're already under contract. The money's good, it's there, but as they've been working on pulling that funding down from the federal government, I think they've learned a lesson in, I don't know, timeliness. And basically said, to not have those vendors beating down our doors, it probably makes more sense for the city of Weston to pay us to reimburse the city. They've assured me that they can get us reimbursed before June 30, which is fine for us, but the vendor has already sent their first invoice. They don't want paid by June 30. They want paid by yesterday. So
That's something you recommend.
it is, yeah.
So is there a motion to make that payment and be reimbursed by Hubcap? Okay, it's been moved in second. Any discussion?
Yeah, if they don't pay, it doesn't come out of the flower fund.
Yes, it does.
No, it
Moving
doesn't.
on. All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, I'll entertain a motion to move to go into executive session to discuss legal issues.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
6:54, Judy.
Excuse.
Yep. Thanks, Judy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, boy. What'd you do? Get homesick already?
Debbie, there's something I think.
Who else going?
Just Jean and me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
We already have reservations at Jerry West, Prime 44 and the Forum.
I wish we'd have tried that.
Oh, so good. Okay, motion to exit executive session. It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Motion carries. Okay, next. We have reports of city council, and really the only thing I wanted to say this time was, I appreciate everyone who came to the meeting that we had with Walmart, and I'd really like to thank JP Alcar. We don't have any word from their officials yet, but it was such a great day, and we were able to showcase a lot of things in Weston, and we were able to have young uh, participation, and he really added a lot to the meeting, and they did appreciate that. So I'd just like to thank everyone for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Ward 1.
I'd just like to thank everyone for their hard work. Everyone that works for the city works extremely hard, whether it's snowing or whether it's not. I know that street department's putting a lot of hours. Fire and police department have had challenges. Marty stepped in, and I know that everyone has stepped in and worked longer hours with the weather, and I appreciate you. Couple of things I wanted to mention. We have some special events coming up. Sweet Espresso is having poetry readings on a regular basis now, and they have that posted on their Facebook page. Also, the Chocolate Fest. Sorry, the Chocolate Fest. Debbie will tell you the time when it's her turn. And St. Paul's is having an indoor yard sale. It's not to a closet clean out. We had it last year, very successful. We have that from 10 to 2, so as not to duplicate the chocolate festival hours. It's a closet clean out. It's like an indoor yard sale and bake sale, but we usually don't have chocolate there. If you want your chocolate, you have to go to the Glass Museum. Small town, you can't compete. But kind of something to do if you want to come in the morning before the chocolate festival begins. So, the Arts Council are planning some interesting things for the spring. And there is a drawing class as well that's coming up, I believe in February or March. That's all I have. Thank you.
Stephen?
Well, I'd just like to thank everybody, I guess, as Sherry would say. Mike, I appreciate you guys' work, the long hours you guys have put in. Please thank them for us. And Joe and Nate, it seems like you guys are doing well, kind of getting into your new positions, and I'm glad to see that's going well for you, and kind of keeping us up to date has been very helpful. So I really appreciate that. And I just appreciate everything that everybody's done, especially during the winter storms that were rough. And frankly, I didn't go outside, so I appreciate everybody else who did. Thank you.
Hey, Ward 3.
Word 3. Okay, what's she gonna say now? Oh, let me start by thank you everybody for all you did. We're just echoing Sherry down here. No, we do appreciate you. Honestly, we do. Again, I want to reiterate that the Glass Museum fundraiser, the Chocolate Fest, is from 1 to 3 this Saturday, and it is the main fundraiser for the Glass Museum and helps to pay their bills for the year. They're keep the lights on more or less. I am looking forward to the demolition of our unwanted vacant structures that we have out there, and I think that will continue to get rid of some of the blight and move us future. I look forward to see what the land reuse agency hopefully can do in the near future with some of the properties they have acquired, and that we continue to move forward.
At the Glass Museum meeting, they were talking about they're really starting to need more and more volunteers because some of their members have health issues, and because of plans they couldn't work. So that's been a big push to try to get volunteers. And I keep thinking they've really created such a stellar event. It would be a travesty to see that end. So I hope that they can get more people. Yeah, they really need people. So if you can send anyone their way who maybe has an interest in the museum itself or just wants to get out and be around people and socialize, that's the place for them because that's a great event.
It's an asset to our community.
Sure is.
Definitely is.
Word 4.
I just want to thank everybody as well, all city staff, for what you guys are doing. Thank Mike and all his guys, at the street department, Stephen was mentioning for all the road cleaning, and I know those guys and Mike have been out long hours, 24 hours at a time, or whatever it was, they was out. I know, I realize it was long hours, so we thank them for keeping the roads safe and as clean as they can keep them. Anyway, the best job I can do, I thank you for that. And, I forgot to bring up earlier, Marty, for the demos as far as, disconnecting meters and all. I just thought I would bring that up during your report to you. That was handed over as far as on my behalf with the meters and everything for demolition that you sent in.
Yeah, they had me, when I called in, they had me email them since we had 10.
Yeah, I got those.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that it's being taken care of here shortly, so.
Get right on that.
Yeah. I don't know, I won't be getting on it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Joe, I think you're doing a good job so far. This first meeting as interim city manager. I'm sure Nate will be around here and there to help out, as I'm sure you guys will discuss. So thank both of you and wish Nate well and hope to see him. Yeah. I'll get to see his engineering skills, Nate's now in his new position. I'd like to see drawings and everything. But no, thank everybody and for what you guys are doing. With that, I move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thanks for the pen, Debbie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank the Board of Education for that.
Mine's leaking. I gotta throw it away.